I'm back, and today I'm going to be chatting to you guys about the books I'm hoping to read over the Christmas period. So, to start with, I'm having to rein myself in, because every year I think, I've got all this time off, I'm going to be sitting around not really doing much, I can get so much reading done, there's so many books I can catch up with, I could really make sure I hit my Goodreads target, which I'm never going to hit this year. But this year, I'm kind of being realistic. It never goes that way. You always end up doing more and sleeping more and spending more time doing other things than you expect. And so I'm only going to look at reading 3 books over the course of this Christmas period. I may hopefully read more. But actually, once you see the 3 books I've picked, you'll see that they're all quite dark for the Christmas period. And so I might not want to read any more after this. But without further ado, let me show you what I'm going to be reading over Christmas. So first up is a book I've talked about a few times on the channel, and that's Sirens by Joseph Knox. So this is published by the people behind The Girl on the Train, and basically it's a really interesting, gritty, northern British noir. It's kind of half police procedural, half thriller from what I get. Kind of similar to Ragdoll, which I've talked about on the channel a few times, I think, but a little bit grittier and darker and murky, which I think is something that British crime doesn't do very often. It kind of almost sounds like it combines the best of British crime and American crime. I'm intrigued to see how that comes out. The author behind this has got massive plaudits, people like Lee Child, but also basically everyone loved this book and everyone is talking about it, and so I can't wait to give it a read and see what it's like. I think it could be huge, and I'm looking forward to getting ahead of the curve and reading it before it's released in January. You thought that one was dark, just wait for this one. That's The Girls by Emma Cline. So this book was huge over summer and I kept meaning to buy it or wait till it came out in paperback. But luckily one of my friends had a spare copy that they weren't reading and I've kind of nabbed it for the foreseeable future, and I cannot wait to give this a read. This is one that kind of deals with a lot of things about almost like Stockholm Syndrome and kind of being caught up into kind of cultish atmospheres. A lot of it's based on the Manson cases and basically all of the kind of intricacies and psychologies of how someone can get in your brain and manipulate you and how that all works. It's supposed to be quite creepy, really psychological and quite gripping, and I'm really looking forward to finally getting around to read it. It gets worse again, I am really sorry. The last book is a book that I've been eyeing up for months already, and it recently won the Baillie Gifford Prize, which is the new name for the Samuel Johnson Prize for non-fiction, and that tipped it over the edge. I just had to buy this, and I can't wait to read it, which is worrying potentially when you see what it's about, but let's not think about that too much. It's East West Street by Philippe Sands, and it's basically a book about, as it says on the front, the origins of genocide and crimes against humanity. So I've done a history degree, I've talked about that a few times on here, and I think that history, and especially the way that history's kind of shaped the things that have come, and how everything kind of almost reoccurs, and how it's almost cyclical in terms of what happens and how things change and ebb and flow. This book seems to look into a lot of that, and kind of how history, both politically, militarily, socially, leads to the points where things like the Holocaust, and there's so many other genocides, places like Rwanda, that are in the 20th century that have gone on, that kind of aren't as well known, and it's such a prevalent issue, and it's something that I think it's always worrying it could happen again. And so it's really interesting from both a kind of history standpoint, from a current affairs standpoint, from just a psychology standpoint and societal standpoint. It's a really interesting book, and everyone raves about how well written it is, how well researched it is, and just how powerful it is as a book. And even though it is hefty and it's a big hardback, this sounds like something that I'm absolutely gonna devour, and I cannot wait to get stuck in. I'm intrigued to see what you guys are reading over the Christmas break. Have you gone for things more traditionally festive or a bit lighter or a bit easier to read over the Christmas break? How many are you hoping you'll read? I think 3 could be a difficult task to achieve as it is. Well, I'm intrigued to see what you guys are reading and what you think you can get done over the Christmas break. So leave that in the comments down below. I look forward to hearing what you think. Other than that, if you've enjoyed, a like and a subscribe are really, really appreciated. As always, it's been great to see how much my channel's kind of grown and how many you I've got to interact with over the course of this year, and I really hope to carry that on going forward in 2017. And other than that, have an amazing Christmas and New Year, everybody. I really hope you have just the most amazing week or so. Eat lots, drink lots, be very merry, sing lots of carols, see everybody that you love, and just have an overall amazing time. And I will see you soon with my next video.